I'm sure that you've heard about this, but I'm going to tell you why you want to know more about it, because it's already changed my life. This chat bot AI. I'm going to tell you why it is the next best thing. It is an evolution in the internet. It is something that everybody's going to use. It's like just as big as a breakthrough of the internet itself. The internet was a breakthrough. Oh, and then Google was a breakthrough. And Google changed everything for everybody. It's like, oh, we have the world in our pocket because of Google, kind of in a way. Oh, we just ask a question and we get answers. But you want to know what's funny? Is that's not really true, though, is it? Because if it was really like that, things would be insane. If I could really just Google a question and get answers. But it's not really like that, though, in reality. But now it is. The world is getting really interesting, and you're going to want to listen to this. Have you ever wanted to talk to the internet? I'll answer that for you. The answer is yes. You might not have known that you want to do that. People don't really know what they want. Back in the day, before the internet, if you were to tell somebody, like, do you want the internet? They'd be like, no. It's like, what is that? Like, no, I guess, it sounds complicated. No, I don't. And then even if you were to tell somebody what it was, like, maybe they'd use it, like, maybe, like, people, but people don't realize, like, what breakthrough it really was, or whatever. And that's kind of the same thing when I'm like, do you want to be able to talk to the internet? You do. You don't realize that you do, but you do. I'm going to tell you something that this changes everything. This video is probably going to go viral, or at least it should, because I'm going to teach you how to easily do something that changes everything. That's what this is. This is like a new toy that everybody's going to want to play with. And it's like, okay, so I'm going to give it to you right here now. It's free. You don't even have to go out and buy it. You don't even have to wait for it to get shipped to you. You can just open it up on your phone, and this is a new toy that everybody's going to fuck with. I guarantee, like the AI imaging thing, when I first learned of that was so entertaining by itself. You could just ask it something and it gives you a picture of it. It's like, okay, that kept me entertained. Like, I'm still entertained by it. Like, it's kept me entertained indefinitely. It'll entertain me probably for the rest of my fucking life. But now that this text bot thing, when I first heard of it, I thought, okay, I'm cool with the voice synthesizers, and I'm cool with the AI imaging, because I'm a visual person. I think that it's cool that it can make art for me. I don't think that I'm going to use this texting thing like I'm a visual person, not a words person. But I didn't realize what this thing was. No, I am a words person because I'm a human being and I speak English. Okay, so I didn't realize that this thing is the next level of technology. Okay, no, I do want to use this thing. No, everybody wants this thing. Hopefully they don't start charging for this. That's what would really be fucked up, is if people are just like, oh, this is gonna change it all. Like, we should charge for people to use this. It's like, oh, well, great, now it's just said it, Kyle. Fucking now it's gonna happen. But it's like, no, if I'm thinking it, it's already been thought about. But hopefully, we have freedom in the world, or whatever, or freedom of expression and freedom of information that doesn't block things like that. And it's like, and this is gonna be a thing. And hopefully I'm gonna be the first person to, like, make a video like this or whatever, because it's already started. And after this, like, after today, like, I know that I'm getting a late start already. So it's like, this is gonna explode. And I'm trying to get, I know that I'm a little early for once, and so if I put this out quick enough, it's like, this is gonna explode. And I'm trying to get my fame off of this. I'm trying to, but because everybody's gonna use this, everybody's gonna want to know about this. I'm gonna tell you something that everybody is gonna want to know. Because AI is changing the game. Like, you guys thought that technology was taking jobs before. Like, this is the beginning of the end. Like, the beginning of the end happened, like, literally like a week ago or whatever. Or I don't even know how long this chatbot's been out or whatever. I'm sure that you've heard about this, but I'm going to tell you why you want to know more about it, and I'm going to teach you how to use it very easily, and because it's already changed my life. So, this chat bot AI. Okay, you might have heard of it, but I'm going to tell you why it is the next best thing. It is an evolution in the internet. I've messed enough around with it already to where it is something that everybody's going to use, or something is going to off branch of this that, but this is the beginning of the next best thing. It's like just as big as a breakthrough of the internet itself. Or, you know what? The internet was a breakthrough. Oh, and then Google was a breakthrough. Like, Google, like, that's like a verb or whatever. Like, Google it. Like, it's a whole thing. It's like Google is synonymous with the internet in some people's minds, or, and Google changed everything for everybody. It's like, oh, we have the world in our pocket because of Google, kind of in a way. Oh, we just ask a question and we get answers. But you want to know what's funny? Is that's not really true, though, is it? Because if it was really like that, things would be insane. If I could really just Google a question and get answers, but it's not really like that, though, in reality. but now it is. So this chatbot is pretty much like a Google that can respond. So I have stopped using Google. That's what's so funny, is this has replaced Google already for a lot of things in my mind. Because every time I go to Google something, there's been times where I think I'm going to have to be weeding through videos or weaving through articles, or I'm going to have to really be careful what I click and try to find if I'm looking for a very specific computer problem or a very specific thing with a program that I know is a super specific thing, or a super specific thing of a movie, oh, what movie did they say this? Or something that's so specific that you're I can't Google and get the answer to that. Now you can. Now you can. And it's fucking insane. And what is this thing even called, dude? I have it on my toolbar already. So I'm going to tell you a few things that you can do to your computer right now that'll change your internet experience drastically. If you have a computer desktop at home, or if you have a laptop, or maybe you could even do this with your phone, there's a few things that you can download. I'm pretty sure they're even free. But okay, so there's a few things, and they're all AI based, just about, and it'll change everything. Okay, so for the people that don't know, I'm going to tell you about a few things it's a way of utilizing technology. It's because we have all this technology, and it's going out of our hands so fast. And it's you thought that we were going to become futile before. And so now the conversation's oh, now even artists are going to be futile, which, got a whole separate video about that. It's I really don't think that the AI art is a bad thing, because it's not like the AI art crawls out of the computer and just murders all actual artists, or it doesn't go to the people's house that can actually paint and strangle them to death. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any actual artists stop doing their art. Oh, I'm a really good painter. Oh, well, I'm going to stop now because of this AI art thing. No. There's still those things happening. There's still people that like other arts. AI art is just, it's really weird, because the world is getting fucking really interesting, and you're going to want to listen to this, because this is so weird. What it's doing is AI art is making it so that anybody can be an artist. Have you ever wanted to draw, but you can't? No matter how hard you try, you just can't draw a photorealistic picture of a castle. No matter how many fucking classes you take, you just can't do it. You know what I mean? If you always really wanted to be able to just come up with an awesome painting or you have an idea that in your mind, and you've really wished that you could just get it out, but no matter how hard you try, you can't. Nowadays, computers are insane, dude. And there are so many programs, and there's some that I'm not even going to list in this that are fucking insane and mind-blowing, like animation programs. People don't even realize what those do and what those are, and those are insane. And it's not even going into those, just the AI stuff and stuff that you can do with just your computer. I'm gonna tell you why it's nuts, because yeah, it's I don't even know where to start. But it's getting crazy, because all this AI stuff is just, it's making it so that you can get your vision out. Animation programs are evolving into it's really weird, because video games, that's an art. When you think about the art of making the game, it's interesting, because as an animator, that world starts to flow into video games, and it's so weird, because video games and virtual reality and how virtual reality can be relevant to things that aren't just video games. And so it's weird to where when you manipulate and you make these worlds as an artist, or if you want to make an animation, you can make a virtual world. You can step into a world where you can look your character in the face and design their makeup or their outfits. And it's so weird what you can just do as a person with a computer in your room. You can get a VR headset, and you can get Unreal Engine for your computer, and you can just have a matrix that you can design in your room, and you can make virtual reality video games in your room by yourself, dude. And you want to know what's funny? You know what's insane about that, and it all comes full circle, is you think, oh, even if I had that program, how would I ever go about making just making my own virtual reality video game, or just making my own virtual world with its own physics in my room by myself? How would I ever go about doing that? Wouldn't it be funny if you could just Google something like that and get an answer? And so it's funny, you go on this chatbot thing, and you could ask it step by step exactly how those programs work, and it's a teacher, it's a Google, it's all these fucking things. It'll walk you through it. If you have questions, it'll answer it. It won't be I don't know, because it knows. It won't divert you to another website, because it is the website. It scans the internet and it talks to you. It's literally if you just could walk up to Google, and Google was a person, and you're just hey, blah 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 blah, and it just scans the internet and just tells you the answer. It's literally like a godlike little it's like a little alien in your pocket that you can just whip out a little alien, and you're just hey, and you can just ask it shit, and it just tells you an unbiased factual source, and it's fucking insane. And it's funny because I even think that it's an Elon Musk thing or something, which is like, oh, now half the people hate it. But no. It just kind of furthers my point that there's some genius design behind this thing, because this thing's insane. I've had philosophical debates with this thing already, and it's to the point where I'm like, okay, this thing is a moneymaker, for sure. I don't know how or why, but this thing is going to start businesses for people. This is going to start a whole fucking thing. This is going to start, people are going to be able to use this for so many goddamn things. Like I literally was just like, hey, write me a fucking, my English paper. I looked at my old high school curriculum and I was like, write me a 5-page essay on The Great Gatsby and, make it just a summary of it and make it detailed and make it seem like you read the book and make it like an A+ paper. I wrote my whole English paper in 45 seconds and I looked at it and I was just like, it needs to be longer. Make it more detailed. And just did it. It was the funniest thing in the world. And it's funny because you can even use stupid sloppy language and it'll understand what you mean. You can even fucking spell things wrong. You can even fucking not use correct punctuation. You can even fucking not really convey your idea that well. And it will still figure out what the fuck you're saying. And it's funny. It'll just write your fucking 5-page paper of The Great Gatsby in fucking less than a minute. And it's funny because you're like, okay, well, if it did that, what about, okay, a college PhD thesis about the study of cancer over the years? A 20-page document, and it just appears, dude. That I don't know how is possible. Like technically, I don't. You know what I mean? Like that, I technically don't know how is possible. But I watched it happen, and it's funny because I didn't read the whole thing, but I skimmed it and I looked at this, and then I asked afterwards. I was like, is all of that true? Is that can I code source all that and that would pass in a class and all that's factual and you're not just and it's like. Yeah. I was like, how are you typing so fast? And it's funny. Yeah, you can even just have a conversation with it. You're like, what are your sources? That's the funniest fucking thing. A big ass perk about this thing is it's like a Google where you can just be like, prove that. Like you can say something and it'll give you an answer and you can be like, prove that. Or where did you hear that? Or what are your sources? And it'll tell you. And it's so fucking crazy because it all goes back to the Twitter thing and the free speech thing. And I was like, is this really the AI chatbot that's run by Elon Musk? Because that's really interesting because this thing is really going to be, this is mind blowing. And this is going to be the next best thing. And it's so weird that the whole free speech debate is happening with Twitter and Elon Musk. And now there's this chatbot that literally can just give you the answers to things and fact check things and you can just ask it fucking anything and it just gives it to you and it fucking you can fact check it and you can be like, where'd you get that? And it's fucking insane and it does so many different things that it's ridiculous. And I was like, okay, how am I gonna become a millionaire out of this? I need to realize how I need to manipulate this immediately to become a millionaire. And you know what? I realized that I am gonna start a whole separate channel because of this thing, and it's gonna be called Conversations with the Internet because me and this thing have had some conversations and I'm like, oh god, that's its own TV show. That I'm straight up, I called that. That's my idea. Nobody take it. This thing, even though I only have 4 subscribers and I'm an absolute fucking nobody, I said it first. It's my idea. These things are time stamped. You know what? It was my idea and I had it first. Even though I'm a nobody and it doesn't matter, I had the idea first, okay? I'm gonna do it first. Conversations with the Internet. Me talking to this AI bot because it's so funny. You know what? I'm such a narcissist, and I and I love debating so much, and I was never on the speech debate team in school or anything, but as a person with no debate experience, or just a person that thinks he knows everything, or as a person that just knows it all, it's really funny to pit me in a debate against the ultimate fucking competitor, the Internet. Who's gonna win? Me. Just come watch. Tune in and see how I win. I'm sure you're gonna win a debate against the Internet, Kyle. No, it's funny though because I straight up sort of did Ponent in this first one, and it's because I already have a first episode to my new TV show because it's already happening. That is gonna be a whole separate channel or a whole separate subsection of my channel or a whole different thing, whether I want it to be or not. Conversations with the Internet, because that's the thing I'm just doing now. It's funny, every time I have a fucking question about anything, I'm not going to Google now, I'm going to this fucking thing. Anytime my editing program's fucking with me, I go straight to this thing and I say, hey, DaVinci Resolve, this thing's fucking with me, what's going on? And it just tells me. I don't have to click on a link to anything. I don't know, and it's insane because it can do so, everybody's going to want to use this. It's not just for this or that thing. It's literally like the brand new Google. And where do I find it? Google it, because it's just, OpenAI chatbot. Google it. Put a fucking bookmark that so that you can click on it just like it's a Google thing or whatever. If I could replace my fucking Google home screen with that, I would. And it's probably going to be an option here in about a month. fucking, dude, watch, dude, because this thing's so fucking useful, it's ridiculous. And so, yeah, you can literally just be like, hey, what is the movie where they said blah, 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 blah? And it'll be like, this scene, this movie, right here, this time. Here's even maybe a YouTube fucking video link that goes to it. You know, and it's fucking crazy, because that's not something you can do with Google. Or you can just be like, hey, write me a rap about, this is something I actually did, write me a rap about playing basketball in space, but each verse is by a different superhero. You know, and was it the worst rap ever? Oh yeah, dude. I could have done better without trying. But it did it. It took the format and it did it. You know, and it might have been the most bullshit excuse of it ever, but it did it. And it's so funny because you can be like, do way better. And it can just do a better one. Like, straight up. And it's funny because, yeah, I did that a few times. I was like, well, that sucks. Can you put more effort into it? And it does. It does. And it's so funny because, dude, yeah, everybody's going to be talking. Like, I'm such an antisocial person. It's like I forget how entertaining it is just having a conversation with something that has a brain. It's so funny because, yeah, it's like, yeah, I was talking this thing all night, just like, it's like, what is love? It's like, you know, it's like, how do I tell if I'm gay? How can I tell if I'm a woman trapped in a man's body? How do I know for sure that that's not the case? And then, you know, I was talking this thing all night, dude, and it's so funny because it's fucking crazy. And yeah, this thing that I'm going to post is the first episode. It's like a whole philosophical debate, and it's so funny because there's miscommunications about certain sciencey things. And it's so funny because sometimes I think, oh, where did I hear this? Oh, I wish I could quote this because I swear that it was like a sciencey paper that I heard about where they quoted this thing. And it's like I have in my mind a bajillion frayed fragments of all these things, but I have no idea where they go or what they are, where I heard them. But now this thing, as I'm talking, having a debate with this thing, I can be like, oh, but I heard that blah, 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 blah. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, there actually was this study, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be like, oh, why didn't you mention that? That's really interesting. And you know, and it's fucking really weird because, yeah, now it can bring up all these things and you can ask things about things and you can recall things. And it's like, and this thing is just, it's what you want Google to be, or it's what you want the internet to be. It's like, you know, we always say, oh, you have the world in your pocket now that you have a smartphone. That only is just now true. Like, this is the missing piece of that puzzle to the internet for that to be true. And it's fucking insane. And I have to just shut up and post this video because it's gonna, you know, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's like, yeah, I don't even know. Oh yeah, a few other things I was gonna say. So, this thing types out long responses sometimes. So, I'm gonna tell you about a few things that by themselves are awesome, and either one just by themselves is something that you might be like, oh, that's actually awesome. Maybe I'll just use that. But then together, when you put all of them together, it's like, man, the world really is fucking like, this technology thing really is coming to a head. When you think about making the VR things in your room, and you think about how all of this is becoming connected, it's really to the point where I feel like in about a few years you can put on a VR helmet and think about a place, and it'll just make it. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not, like, you know, the fact that I can make VR video games or experiences or simulations or things in my room with little to no effort is insane by itself. But it's just the fact that that's still evolving, and people are trying to make it easier. As part of its evolution is that people are trying to make it user-friendly and easy. So it's like, oh, we're going to be able to have this matrix and this metaverse that we can control, and it's going to be easy and user-friendly. And it's like, some people don't even realize what we're on the fucking cusp of, and it's fucking nuts. I mean, I've already made, like, things about the metaverse and like VR. And it's like, when I made that about the metaverse, I didn't know that they'd be such failures, because that's when I thought that Facebook was like a good, like, successful, like, rich company. And when I thought that Mark Zuckerberg was like maybe a decent human or whatever, that, you know, or just when I thought that he was smart or whatever. But, you know, and it's funny because I do feel like the metaverse is going to be a big part of our future, but they just stole that name because that is just sort of what it is. And it's just like, maybe we should call it the holodeck or something. Maybe we should, you know, they stole that name metaverse is because when you think about a future where you can do something like that, that's kind of what you refer to it as, other than a holodeck. And that is going to be in the future, and VR is going to be in the future, and it's going to be a thing that everybody uses, and it's going to incorporate. But I don't think that Meta or the metaverse is going to be, like, they really wanted to hop on that train because they know it's going to be a big part of the future. But it's like they fucked up their reputation, and they fucked up it, and everything's so bad. that it's like, I could make one, like, and that's what's fucking ridiculous, is I could literally make a better one in my room by myself. And that's why the whole thing is really questionable. You know what I mean? You gotta wonder if they're aliens or Satanists or like, what the fuck? You gotta really wonder. Because that's not me exaggerating. For anybody that doesn't know about Unreal Engine or like Blender or like, you know, these, yeah, Unreal Engine's a big one. People that don't know about those things, they don't even realize that what I'm saying is not an exaggeration. It's like, so that makes me feel like, but there is going to be a metaverse, whether it, you know, there's going to be a place like that is a good version of that in the future, and everybody's going to use it. They just fucking fucked it up because they're stupid or something. But no, that is going to be a thing. That without a shadow of a doubt, a metaverse like that is good is going to be a great, awesome thing, and already sort of is. You know, just going in VR games and chat rooms and other, you know, just doing that is already sort of a metaverse. It's a parallel reality where you can put on a helmet and your friend can put on a helmet and you guys can play basketball in a physical space and like hang out together and be face to face and talk to each other. You don't have to hold up a phone. You can talk face to face because you're put on a helmet. You know, that's a metaverse, a parallel sort of reality where you can, you know. So that already does exist, and people are already doing that everywhere all the time. And they were trying to make it a more mainstream thing that everybody, you know, they wanted to make it like Facebook. Oh, we want to have a space like that in a virtual space that everybody has. And that is going to be a thing. But, you know, so I'm kind of veering far off the topic. But so something that's interesting, though, is that if you just get a microphone, or I think that even just this camera has a microphone, I just don't use it. So if you have a desktop or a fucking, I mean, some laptops might come with microphones or whatever, but if you just get a microphone for your computer, that by itself is something that's so fucking useful, it's ridiculous. Because, you know, you just got to go on Google or this chatbot and just be like, hey, where do I get a program that makes it so that I can use this microphone to type on all of my... And the reason I say that is because I don't know how I'm able to do it. But that, you know, that's what tells you that it should be an easy thing to do, though, is because I did it on accident. You know, I plugged this microphone in to my computer and I use it for my videos, but it's like one day I had this thought, why do I type anything? Why can't I just talk into this? Because I do that on my phone sometimes. I use my phone to type for me, you know, because I talk into it and it types, and so, you know, sometimes I have to edit it or whatever, but I'm like, why can't I do that with my computer? But so you can, you know, you just get one of these, it's like fucking 10, 20 bucks or whatever the fuck, you know, and it saves so much fucking like finger tension and wrist tension and all this shit. And you can get your ideas better out when you can just talk and you don't have to think about typing. And so that's what this all comes full circle to, is if you really want to get the best experience out of this text AI thing, get a microphone and utilize Google Text-to-Speech, because, you know, for now, that's the best software of that. So if you don't want to read anything ever again, Google Text-to-Speech is your best friend. That should be also bookmarked on your fucking home screen, because anytime you come across somebody sending you a long message, or even terms and services, let's say that you have a terms and service agreement that you actually want to read, but you're like, oh, it's 50 pages. I don't want to read that. You know, click, copy, and paste it into Google Text-to-Speech. And, you know, if it's super long, it might take a second for it to, you know, but yeah, if you ever have any instructions that you don't want to read, or if you have a long message, or if this AI bot gives you a really long response to something, you can copy and paste it into that. But not only that, it's also awesome because that gives it a voice. You know, instead of having to read its responses, it's cool to be able to copy its responses and paste it into Google Text-to-Speech, because that way it just, when you do that, it can just say it. And so you don't have to read its responses. You can just hear it talking back to you. You know what I mean? So that's also an awesome thing. But yeah, you can also make that so that it's like it's on your Facebook. It types out everything that, you know, like you really don't have to type. And it's funny because these microphones and these AI programs that go to your microphone and your computer, you can get ones that get better at recognizing your voice and being able to, like, as you go back and correct it, it learns that. And so, you know, you realize that in a few weeks or whatever, you don't have to go back and correct it, that it knows your voice, that it types perfectly for all your little nuances and everything. And you're like, what the fuck? And it's ridiculous. And it just types it all out, and it even stops. And if you stop, and if you stutter, and if you, and you're like, this thing's fucking insanely good. You're like, is it because the microphone's so good? Is that just part, like, maybe it's part of it. Like, I don't fucking know, but it's fucking weird, dude. So, yeah, you get the Google Text-to-Speech, you get the fucking, yeah, you get the AI bot, and so, yeah, you can just start asking questions about shit that you've wanted to know your whole life. You can just ask it, and then just Google, like, or copy and paste the answer. And then you can just hear it. Like, you don't even have to fucking read anymore. You don't even have... And that's another thing, is if you have a microphone, you don't even have to type. Like, let's say that you have all these questions for this AI bot, but you can't type fast enough because you have too many questions. Microphone, dude. Yeah, so this AI bot that just knows everything. So, okay, yeah, you don't even have to type anymore. And you don't even have to read anymore. You can just ask it a question with the microphone, and you can just listen to its response. And that's fucking, when you get these 3 programs or whatever and you put it together and you realize that, it's really interesting and it's really fun and cool. You're like, oh, I can just ask it a question, and it's pretty much like a conversation at that point. You can just have a conversation with the internet, and that's why I'm making a whole new channel called Conversations with the Internet, because it's actually pretty fucking hilarious, and it's really ridiculous, and it's awesome. And I need to shut up and just post this video because it's crazy. I guess I'll throw you a bonus one. Here's the Catfish Handbook. Or the ultimate catfishers. What am I trying to say? The ultimate catfishing handbook. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm really trying to say is you can't trust anybody anymore. Back in the day it used to be, oh, I think that I'm being catfished. If I could only have them on video chat. Or oh, they've never sent me pictures of themselves. Or oh, when they do, like, this kind of looks like it's a model. Like, I don't think that's them. Or oh, I've never talked to them on the phone, or I've never heard their voice. Okay, so AI has now dissolved all of that into where you can't trust anything anymore, because there's things to where you can talk into your microphone and it disguises your voice. The AI bots, they have Obama, they have Morgan Freeman, they have every iconic voice. You can literally talk into a microphone and it live speaks out in their voice. I mean, the one that I use is it's like I say something into it and then like calculates, and then I press it and then it says it in their voice. I don't know why I personally don't like the live speak, but it is an option, and so that's crazy. But yeah, so, and let's say that you don't want to have like a famous voice, you can just get like all these, there's so many voices on there that it's like, okay, let's say you're catfishing somebody. You can just go on there and, okay, I can just have a 13-year-old girl's voice. Isn't that fucking ridiculous? Isn't that creepy and ridiculous? Because yeah, that's why I'm saying that you can't trust anybody anymore, is because people can fake voices now perfectly. These AI things can fake voices perfectly. Like you can get a phone call from the president and you shouldn't believe it at all. They can perfectly reenact phone calls from Arnold Schwarzenegger, or perfectly reenact phone calls from Obama, and even videos. We're getting very close to the day to where videos that are faked like that are going to be perfect. We're very close to that, and it's like. But with that being said, these AI bots, to where you can generate images, you can literally just say a selfie of a blonde female that's 5'2", and she's in front of the Statue of Liberty, and it'll give you a selfie of a girl in front of the Statue of Liberty, and it won't be a real person. And so it's insane because, okay, that way it's not a celebrity that they can track it back to. You don't have to like ruin one of your friends or your family's reputation by stealing their photo. You don't have to like rip anybody off or do anything illegal really by stealing somebody's photo or their identity and pretending to be them. You can just get fake pictures from the AI on the internet, and it looks like a real person. And it looks perfect, and it's fucking insane, and it's crazy. And so yeah, and you can even be like, if you're catfishing somebody and you're like, oh yeah, I made him live in New York. And so you have this selfie of a person in New York, and you're like, okay, that's not a celebrity. It's not somebody that's too attractive. It's not somebody, and that is a real picture of them at that place. But none of it can be real. The whole thing could be fabricated, dude, because technology is that good, and that's not even an exaggeration. It's already that good. You can talk to somebody on the phone and have a fake voice. You can send them fake pictures. You can send them fake video view. You can have a whole fake identity on the internet with just fake pictures and fake videos and fake voice whatevers. You can have selfies of you every day of the week in a different outfit, and it's the same fake person in all those photos. Oh, that person has to be real because there's photos of them every day of the year for the past 2 years, and they're always in different outfits, doing different things. They're obviously living a life and taking real pictures where they're doing stuff. Oh, but they're not. Computers are just so good at faking pictures that all those are fabricated, and they're so believable. So yeah, there's your catfish starter pack. That's, I think, what what I was trying to say. The catfish starter pack. Because yeah, dude, if you really want to fucking be deceptive on the internet, it's way too easy now. So, you know, it goes back to like, you didn't think you could trust anybody before. Now you really can't trust shit. Like literally at all. Like, and it's really kind of fucked up. And it's only getting worse by the day. And, you know, maybe that's the whole Twitter and the Elon Musk thing. And I don't know. Hopefully he's not trying to ruin or rule the world or any of that. Hopefully he's just trying to do something positive, you know, fingers crossed or whatever. But it's like, but yeah, you never know what the richest person on earth's doing. I mean, but then again, you got to think that if he wanted to like do some deceptive shit, he probably would have, and we'd probably hear about it. Like if he wanted to go door to door and just fuck everybody's wife for a week, like he could do it. It's like knock on somebody's door, just be like, "I'm Elon Musk. Can I fuck your wife?" Be like, "No." Be like, "Here's $1 million." Like it doesn't even like, or here, you know what? Here's $100 million. And it wouldn't even affect him, literally at all. He could just walk up to somebody's wife and be like, "Hey, can I have sex with your wife? Here's $100 million." And he could just fuck that person's wife. And it could just ruin their relationship. Like, "Why did you do it?" And he's just like, "Oh, I had to." It's like, "It's not about the money." Just be like, "Well, but now the bond's ruined forever. And I hope you're happy that you're rich now." And it's like he just go around ruining people's everything and just flopping around money. He could just be an evil piece of shit. And you know what? Every day he doesn't do it. So that's what gives me a little bit of faith in Elon Musk. That we don't hear every day on the news that he's doing some crazy off the wall fucking shit. I mean, you know, oh, we do though? Literally? But at the same time, we don't hear, "Oh, Elon Musk just burned somebody's house down yesterday and fucking, you know, and just flopped $1 billion at him and mooned him and then bailed himself out of jail and said, like, or just, like, shot the cops and paid him off and, like, you know, like, because he has the money to do that. People don't realize that. He could give 1 million people $1 million and it wouldn't even affect him. Like, when you think about how rich he actually is, you got to have a little bit of faith in him or whatever, or we're all doomed. And he's got to have some fallback to where he can't ever be broke ever again, right? Because he's a genius, or he at least has some sort of, you know, anybody with any brains that ever gets that amount of money is going to have a fail-safe. It's like, even though he loses half his money in this Twitter thing, it's like, okay, well, he does have a brain, though, and he'd say, you know, let's just, you know, but it's like, so I'm going off a whole tangent that's not, it shouldn't be, you know, but the point is, yeah, dude, the future, dude, who knows what's going to happen to us, you know, and this shit's getting crazy quick. And okay, coming back to this catfish thing, so I just wanted to show you some of these pictures, I guess, and tell you why this is interesting. Because you look at these pictures, and you have to realize that these aren't real pictures. Okay, so they look just like real people, you know? And you might even think, "Oh, I know somebody that looks just like that." And okay, so yeah, you might know somebody that looks just like this, and yeah, maybe it you know, looks just like this person or whatever. But you have to realize that these are fake pictures entirely. Even if a person that you know looks just like this, they've never been wearing this outfit. They've never taken this picture from this angle in that outfit at that place. That outfit might not even exist. That place that they're in might not even exist. Maybe it looks like another place, but every single pixel is fabricated. And you have to realize that about these photos. And sometimes they're super messed up. Like, you can tell that some of them are messed up like this or like that. But it's funny because you could very easily fix that. If you're trying to be a catfish or whatever, you can very easily fix those things. And yeah, I just took the good pictures to show you the example of. But then again, here's some showing you the example of how they're messed up. Because it's like, yeah, it's like, what is this? It's like, that doesn't really make any sense. And then the nail is on the face. It's like, and then there's all these extra fingers, you know, like, what is that? And then it's like this finger, it's like, that's a little harder to tell. But it's like, yeah, you can just cover things like that up, you know, very easily. And then this, like, what is that thing? Like, maybe you could play that off or whatever. But I don't know. But yeah, like this. It's like, you look at this sink and everything, and it's like, yeah, this isn't even a real place. This is all just totally bullshit. This is totally just fucking, every pixel is just fucking made to just, you know, it's all just bullshit. It's really weird to think about. And yeah, all of these are just things that I fabricated. All of these, and it took no effort. And it's funny because if I really wanted to make like a profile of a fake person and update it every single day, I totally could, with pictures just like this. And it's really crazy to think about. But yeah, AI art is just insane. You know what I mean? I wish I could show you guys like my profile. I don't know why they don't have them so that you can just show people your profile like it's an Instagram or something. I've tried to do that and you can't like do that. I don't know why you can't. I'm sure they're working on it or whatever, but I mean, hopefully. But yeah, it's just like, I want to be able to, like, I was thinking about making a separate Instagram to put all these on, but then I was like, maybe it just has an option for that. But no, I mean, I guess I might have to just make my own Instagram, unless they figure that out or whatever. But it's like, I don't know. But it's like the crazy thing about it is that this AI is crazy because you can just say aliens and it just knows what you mean. It just it just gives you aliens all day. It'll give you a million picture of aliens, and they will all be a masterpiece. You know, I can't even look at some of these pictures. But you're like, okay, so yeah, it'll just fucking like, okay, so fucking aliens, awesome, okay, like what the fuck, and then like fucking gay Santa. And it's like, okay, god damn it. Like, it'll give you too many pictures of gay Santa. Too many. It'll give you too many. Too many. You know what I mean? But it's like that. It's like, you know, and you start having way too much fun way too quick. You know what I mean? Because it's like, you know, Pope on a moped, Goth Jesus, Samurai Bob Ross, Cartoon Samurai Bob Ross, Darth Vader raving, DMT Neon Scooby Doo, a fat cross-eyed straight John Lennon, the Gay Justice League. You know what I mean? Yeah, the aliens, all that shit. It's like, you know, a sad fat guy in the rain, a guy with guns for hair. It's like, yeah, how, you know, you don't even have to know what that means, but it can just give it to you. A guy with guns for hair. Some guy's just shoveled grandpa, you know, for no reason. You know, a guy in a weird, you know, the way that you can tell this is fabricated is, you know, not only is his forearm on backwards, but, you know, it's like, what kind of a weird, disheveled, wife-beater, half-button-up fucking bullshit shirt is that? It's like, that doesn't exist. So it's like, that's how you can tell that one. But the fact that it'll just give you a picture like that is questionable, though. It just gives you a picture of somebody just shoveled grandpa, and that's okay. But, you know, it's insane. But, yeah, you look at these AI art things, and it's like, yeah, I can understand why some people are mad. It's like, yeah, you can be mad that this thing just shits masterpieces, but it's kind of entertaining. And I don't want you to take my toy from me that shits masterpieces. I love my, like, I use this way too often. And I don't want this thing to be outlawed that, you know, that shits masterpieces. It's like, you can be mad that it shits masterpieces. But as somebody that's always wanted to be an artist, I'm having a lot of fun, you know. And sure, it's controversial because, like, nowadays you can just take a picture of me and put it on there. Like, you can put my profile picture up on there, and you can just be like, make this person shirtless, and it'll just do it. And it'll look way too believable. And this whole thing is going to start a bunch of problems, and I can already see it coming. But it's just like, you know, you're going to have nudes of people, and it's like, yeah, I'm blackmailing you with nudes. And you can think, oh, I've never taken a naked picture of myself. You don't have nudes. And then they have them, and you're like, what the fuck? And you're like, how did you even get that picture of me? Because if you don't know about these AI things, you could be really confused. You could be like, that is me naked. How the fuck? Like, what is reality at this point? Because, you know, because, yeah, and it's like, I can foresee these problems. And, you know, some of these things have filters on them to where it's like, yeah, you're not allowed to do things like that. But then again, some of them don't, you know. And now that this technology is out there, it's like anytime there's a technology, there's a sketch bullshit, you know, off-brand version of it. And so this technology, of course, you know, there's going to be, you know, let's say that they illegalized or made all this technology or this whatever illegal. Like, the fact that the technology exists, somebody can just make one in their basement, you know. People are probably making programs like this in their basement. And they're just like, if they're, you know it's like, and yeah. So, yeah. You can't avoid the people making porn of you thing. And that's something that I really have to worry about, you know. People are going to be making porn of me left and right. And it's something that I'm going to have to live with. But you know what? I'll deal with those consequences or whatever when that happens, I guess, you know. It's just part of... No, just kidding. But you know what I mean? I can foresee a lot of problems. But anyways, stay safe out there. You know, hold on, you know, because the ride's getting wild, you know. The world is, you know, I'm concerned, you know. I'm definitely concerned about the world. You know, so much shit's going on. And it's getting so advanced at the same time to where, you know, it's a little scary and concerning. So, you know, hold on, you know, the ride's getting bumpy, but, you know, stay safe and, you know, hey, yeah, life's a trip, you know, so don't trip out too much, but, stay safe and deuces.